Gentlemen, I want you to listen to me carefully because this is not a conversation most men have out loud, not with their friends, not with their partners, and certainly not with their doctor. This is something you've probably only ever asked yourself, quietly, maybe late at night, maybe after noticing changes in your body that you didn't expect. And the question sounds simple, but it carries weight. Is this still okay for me? If you're over 50, 60, even 70, and you still masturbate, is it healthy or is it harming you? And maybe you've had deeper thoughts, the kind you don't admit easily. Am I weakening myself? Is this draining my energy? Could this be affecting my hormones, my prostate, my performance? If you've ever had even one of those thoughts, I want you to understand something right now. You are not alone. In fact, this is one of the most common concerns I hear from men in private consultations. Strong men, intelligent men. Men who have built careers, raised families, lived full lives, and yet still carry quiet confusion about their own bodies. Because for decades, no one gave you clear answers. Instead, you were given myths. You were told that self-pleasure weakens you, drains you, even ruins you. But when we strip away the shame and look at what modern science actually says, the truth is very different. And for many men, it's not just reassuring, it's freeing. Because biologically speaking, your body doesn't suddenly stop benefiting from stimulation just because you've crossed a certain age. In fact, in many ways, your body needs that connection even more. But, and this is important, like anything related to health, it depends entirely on how you do it. Because done with awareness, it can support your body. Done carelessly, it can create problems you don't see coming. So today, we're going to talk about both sides, not opinions, not internet advice, real grounded medical understanding. And by the end of this, you're going to see your body differently, not with confusion, but with clarity, not with guilt, but with control. Now let's start with something most men completely overlook. Your body doesn't stop needing circulation. As you age, blood flow becomes one of the most important factors in your overall health. And what many men don't realize is that erections are not just about intimacy. They are a form of vascular exercise. Every time blood flows into that tissue, it helps maintain elasticity, oxygenation, and function. When that stops happening regularly, the tissue can lose responsiveness over time. So, in simple terms, gentle, regular stimulation can actually help maintain function, not destroy it. And then there's the prostate. A lot of fear exists around this. But what we do know is that the prostate is an active gland. It produces fluid, and like any system in the body, it benefits from movement and release. That doesn't mean extremes. It means balance because your body thrives on rhythm, not excess, not neglect, but steady, natural function. Now let's talk about something deeper, something many men feel but don't connect the dots on: stress. As you get older, stress doesn't just affect your mind, it affects your entire system, your sleep, your energy, your hormones, your mood. And when the body experiences release, something very specific happens. Your nervous system shifts, tension drops, your body moves out of a stress state and into a recovery state. That's not theory, that's biology. And for many men, especially those dealing with loneliness, pressure, or aging-related anxiety, that shift can be incredibly important. But here's where things start to go wrong, not in the act itself, but in the way it's used. Because the same thing that can support your body can also become something you rely on in the wrong way. If it becomes your only escape, your only form of comfort, your only way to deal with stress, then it stops being supportive and starts becoming a crutch. And your brain notices that. Your body adapts to patterns. So if you repeat the same stimulation, the same intensity, the same routine, over time, your sensitivity can change. That's when men start noticing. It doesn't feel the same anymore. or worse. It only works one specific way. That's not damage. That's adaptation. And the solution is simple: awareness, variation, staying connected to your body, instead of going through the motions. Now let me bring up something that is rarely discussed, but extremely important for older men. Your skin changes with age. It becomes thinner, more sensitive, more prone to irritation, and this is where many men unknowingly create problems. Too much friction, not enough care, and suddenly what was harmless becomes uncomfortable, even painful. This is not something to ignore. Your body is communicating with you. And when you listen to it, you prevent long-term issues. The same goes for posture. Most men don't even think about this, but the way you position your body, especially for long periods, can affect nerves and circulation in ways you don't expect. And if something ever feels off, numbness, discomfort, loss of sensation, that is not something to push through. That's something to respect, because your body always gives you signals before problems become serious. Now let's address something deeper, something emotional: guilt. Many men carry it without realizing it, conditioned over years, sometimes decades, to believe that their own body is something to feel ashamed of. And that guilt doesn't just stay in your mind, it affects your physiology. It raises stress levels, it creates tension, it disconnects you from your own natural responses. So part of staying healthy is letting go of that outdated narrative. Your body is not your enemy. It is something you are meant to understand, not suppress. But with that said, balance is everything. Too little stimulation can lead to stagnation. Too much can lead to fatigue, disconnection, and even reduced responsiveness. So the goal is not frequency. The goal is awareness, listening to your body, respecting its signals, giving it time to recover, and staying connected to real life, real interaction, real presence, because nothing replaces human connection, not physically, not emotionally, not mentally. And when men lose that, that's when deeper issues begin. So here's what I want you to take away from this conversation: not fear, not restriction, but understanding. Your body does not stop being yours after 50 or 60 or 70. It still responds, it still adapts, it still has the capacity to function, but only if you stay connected to it. So from today forward, approach this differently, not as a habit, but as something you manage with awareness. Moderate, respectful, intentional, and most importantly, without shame. Because the moment you remove shame, you gain control, and control is what allows you to stay strong, present, and confident at any age. Now, before you go, I want you to do something simple. If this conversation gave you clarity, even a small shift in how you see yourself, type in the comments, "I understand my body," not for anyone else, but as a quiet decision that from this point forward, you're going to stop guessing and start living with awareness, because that's what real strength looks like.